All right, so in this module, we're going to talk about structure. Because we're talking about call structure, you will need to have your MSF training script handy for this module. So if you don't have it handy right now, take a second, pause this, get it with you. So to start with, we're going to talk about why we have a structure at FD. So in terms of a structure, what I'm talking about is kind of a set flow to the conversations that we have over the phone. And there are a lot of reasons why we choose to have a structure. Probably the biggest one is consistency. So at FD, we are making hundreds and thousands of calls. We need to make sure that there is some consistency between calls. In terms of our structure, that's kind of like our trademark. When a new client comes to us, they want to know what our calls sound like, we're able to point them to our structure. Having a structure that we all follow is also really helpful because it allows us to have some good organization to our calls as well. At FD, we've been doing this a long time. We're really lucky too that we are also building off of knowledge from Pell and Bales, the company that we sort of branched off of initially. So we know a lot about what works in this type of call. Our structure is built to work. We're lucky to have a structure that really is proven in that way, comes out of a lot of research and a lot of experience, and it also helps us to stay organized in our call. We know where we're going. We don't need to just wing it every call. I think that would be a lot more exhausting. So definitely important for us to have a structure. Now we're going to take a look at the structure that we use at FD. So we're going to start with an overview of our call structure, and then we'll take a deeper dive on each part of the structure a little bit later in this module. So don't worry if it still seems a little bit vague at first. The first part of our structure, maybe predictably, is our introduction. So in our introduction, we really need to remember there's some key information we want to disclose. So we need to say our name, that we're calling from FD, and the name of the charity that we're calling on behalf of. We also need to let our supporters know that the call is being recorded. The next part of our structure is our icebreaker. Our icebreaker is generally 2 questions to get to know the supporter a little bit. We want to start off our conversation really as a conversation, establish that it's 2 ways, so we get to do that really early on in our call with our icebreaker. A great opportunity to get them talking, to get us listening, and to sort of start our call on the right foot. The next part of our structure is our rationale, and this is really where we're going to give a reason to give. So we're going to be talking about what the charity is doing and how they can help. The fourth part of our structure is our ask. So, we gave a reason to give in our rationale. Now we are going to have to ask. We want to be clear and confident when we're asking for donations. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. We can have up to 3 asks in our calls, but not back to back. So I'll do my first ask, and let's say for now the answer is no. Often if the answer is no, the supporter will give us a reason. So if I ask, would you be able to help with $30 a month? They might say something like, no, I'm actually still a student, so that wouldn't be possible. In that case, we're moving on to the next part of our call, which is negotiation. In negotiation, we're going to kind of move through 4 steps. So we have mirroring, specifics, transition, and rebuild. The idea here is that we want to, with our mirroring and specifics, really acknowledge what's been shared with us. And then with our transition and our rebuild, we want to really get back to the cause. So in terms of mirroring, what I'm talking about is basically repeating back the reason for the no. In the example that I gave, the supporter said that they're a student, so that would be what I repeat back in mirroring. Specifics is where I'm going to kind of repeat back the dollar amount that I'd asked for. So mirroring and specifics together might look like this. That's okay, I can totally understand if you're a student, then $30 a month might not work for you. We've done a good job there of acknowledging what's been said, the reason for the no, and also what doesn't work. Now, we don't want to stop there. We want to get back into, why we are looking for support. That's where we go to our transition and our rebuild. So that's going to be bringing it back to the cause, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Now, once I've gone through my negotiation, so my mirroring, specifics, transition, and rebuild, I can go back to my ask. So I'm going to go to my second ask. In my second ask, I'm going to ask for a smaller amount than I did in my first ask. So if my first ask was $30 a month, I might go to $20 a month here. So again, I'm going to ask again. The answer could be yes, the answer could be no. Let's say it's still no. I'm going to go back to negotiation. I'm going to do my mirroring, my specifics, my transition, my rebuild again. And then I can go to my third and final ask. So my third ask, let's say this time they say yes, I will move to the next step of my call, which is my confirmation. So in my confirmation, it's really important for me that I'm going to confirm exactly what was agreed upon. When we're on the phone, we don't have like a visual document where we can confirm everything. We want to make sure we're really, really clear. So we're going to confirm the amount for the gift. So if they agreed to, let's say, $10 a month, so the amount $10, the frequency monthly, and the start date. So when is this first gift going to happen? Once I've done that, I can move to my close, the final part of my structure. So in my close, this is the end of the call. I want to make sure that I'm ending the call on a positive note. And I also want to do what we call a branded thank you. So that's a thank you on behalf of the charity. So if I'm calling on behalf of the Canadian Red Cross, my thank you would be, thank you so much on behalf of the Canadian Red Cross, and so on.